In today's video, we are going to talk about STOs, or Stock Transport Order. Have you used it? If not, watch till the end. Have you seen my last video? It was about SAP serial number. Check it out. Also, if you don't want to miss any of these videos again, please subscribe and turn on notifications.
Today we will talk about STOs, but what STO means. STO is related to Stock Transport Order in SAP, and this enables you to move stock from one plant to another plant, or between different storage locations within the plant. Here we can have several scenarios to move stock between your organization. For example, you can do stock transfer in one step or in two steps, only in inventory management. But you can use STOs to move materials from one plant in one company code, for example, to another plant in a different company code. This is what is called STO for intercompany. But it can also be done for two different plants in the same company code. STO process can be used, as we see in this picture, with delivery. In this case, the buyer, as plant 1, is creating an STO that is the same as a PO, a purchase order, and will be visible in the supplying plant. Then they will create a delivery, and they will post the good issues. When the goods arrive to the buying plant, they will post the good receipt. Additionally to this process, we can use also the billing component in the supplying plant, and also in the buying plant, they will create the Logistic Invoice Verification. But we will see this scenario in more details in this presentation. Let's start with our master data. In this process, we will have one plant that is the buyer. In our case, it will be plant 1000 that will be buying from the supplying plant. In our case, it will be plant 2000. The supplying plant will be assigned to a vendor master record, and the buying plant will be linked to a customer master record. So let's check this information, and let's go to the vendor master. We have vendor 4444 in purchasing organization 1000. That is the London supplying plant. And we can see that it is assigned to plant 2000. In the same way, we can see the customer master. That is the buying plant 1000. In this case, we can see some important fields that will be used during the process. Delivery priority, normal, shipping condition 02, standard. And we can also see the address. This is in Germany, and the region is the transportation zone is D0020,000. You can also see this information in the tables. In the plant tables, we can see plant 1000 and also plan 2000, where plan 1000 has the customer 1185 that is assigned, and the plan 2000 has the vendor 4444 assigned. Then we are going to use a material 100/120 that is maintained in both plants. But it's important that we have the sales view in the sales org. Item category group norm. And we have transportation group 0001 and loading group 0001. These fields will also be used during the process. Then we have created an Inforecord for our material and vendor in our purchasing organization and plant, when we assign a value of 10 euros per piece. And this material also in the buying plant is assigned to the plan 2000 with the vendor 4444, and we have set this as a fixed source relevant for MRP. In reference to customizing, we have several points in different modules. Let's start with material management. We will see that under purchase order, we have SAP Stock Transport Order. And the first point is define the shipping data for the plant. Our buying plant is 1000, and here we have the link to the customer. In the case of the supplying plant, that is 2000, here we see that the sales area that is assigned is sales org 2000, distribution channel 12, and division 00. For the ATP checking rules, we are going to use the standard ones, and we are not going to create any new one. Then we have to assign delivery type and the checking rule. And this is based on the document type that we are going to use MB, as in our case will be an intercompany STOs. And the supplying plant is 2000. So here we have our record, and we assign the delivery type. The standard for cross-company is NLCC. We're using standard checking rule as SD delivery. We activate the shipment scheduling and route schedule. And in the availability checking rule, here I use E. So in this case, when we are doing the ATP and in the delivery tab, in the delivery schedule tab, we will see that the ATP is similar to the one in the sales order. We will have two lines, one line with the request quantity and dates, and a second line with the commit quantity and dates, instead of having all the information in just one line. We are not using one-step procedure, so no need to go to this point. Then, what other points do we need to use? We will use shipping points, as it will be necessary for the outbound deliveries. And here we have shipping condition from our customer 02, loading group 01 from the material master on the sales plan data from the selling sales org in plan 2000. And we see that we have the shipping point 2000 that will be also determined. This shipping point 2000, if we see some information about the shipping point, it is based on country GB and departure zone 1000. And we also see that the pick pack time is 1 day. As we are going to use routes, we need to define the routes and route determination. So I have already defined one route from UK GB to Germany. I'm saying that for these two locations, the transit time is 3 days. And this route will be determined we can search for each as shipping point 2000 and customer 1185. And here we can see that our route set GBDE is assigned to shipping conditions 02 and transportation group 0001. Let's start by checking the stock that we have for our part. You can see there is no stock in any plant. Then we are going to create independent requirement in the buying plant that will be used as our demand for 100 for the 10th of July. Now we go to our stock requirement list and we have our independent requirement. And we can run now MRP. We're going to assign navigation profile and just click on single item multi-level. And we have that one purchase requisition was created. We refresh and we can see the purchase requisition here. But we can see in source of supply that the purchasing organization and the supplying plant were already determined. This is based on the source list. And let's convert now this requisition into a purchase order. Okay. Here we can see that we have our required delivery date for the 9th of July, and the end of the lead time is on the 13th of July. we see the scope of check of the ATP, and we see that check without replenishment lead time is not flagged. So we are using the replenishment lead time, RLT. So in the case as we don't have stock, it cannot be confirmed the quantity for the request date. So it is giving a confirmation by the end of the lead time for the 13. So here we have our vendor, and we will see this shipping tab. We will have all the relevant information for the STOs. Based on our customizing, we have determined that the delivery type will be an LCC. Our shipping point is 2000. Delivery priority and shipping conditions from the customer 2 and 02. And loading group 001, transportation group 001 from material master sales views, and the route from UK to Germany that we have already customized and determined. And here we have the selling sales area and the customer number that is linked to the buying plant. Then if we go to the delivery schedule tab, here we can see the effect of assigning the E in the customizing for the ATP chicken rule. We have 2 lines instead of 1. The first line is with the request information. So it's saying that we are requesting 100 units for the 9th of July. The second line is with the commitment information, and you see that the 100 units are commit, but for the end of the lead time. Okay. If we move to the right, we will see all these dates. And let's open a calendar here for July. Okay. We have the delivery date on the 9th here. And you see that the get receipt end date is on the 10th, the next day. This is because we have 1 day of good receipt processing time. Then we have the good issue date, this one, on the 6th. And this is because we have a route of 3 days. So from 9, 1 to 3, the good issue from the supplying plant should happen on the 6th. So it arrives on the 9th. Then we don't have loading time assigned, so it is the same time, it's 0. And also we have a 1 day of pick pack time on the shipping point. So from the 6th, 1 day calendar is going to the 3rd. Okay, so it means that the pick pack time should start on the 3rd and it goes up to next day will be on Monday. On Monday, we should have the good issue on the 6th. 3 days transit time, it should arrive on the buying plant on the 9th. And because we have 1 day of get receipt processing time, it will be available on the next day. This is on the 10th. So this is how all these dates are calculated. So let's save it. And we have our PO, that it can also be visible in the supplying plant. Now that we have our PO in our supplying plant, before that we are able to post or to create the delivery, we will need to put some stock and confirm the PO. So we are going to make a good receipt for our part, movement type 561, implant 2000, storage location 001. Okay, now we have some stock and we can perform a new ATP check in our STO. You can see now that the date here is on the 13th, but if we click this icon, check availability, we're going to perform now a new ATP check. So we have our request date for the 9th, the end of the lead time is on the 13th, but now you see that the confirmation was changed from 13 to 9 of July. And as well, the information on this line, the second line, happened. Okay, now we have our STO that is confirmed. So now we can create our outbound delivery. For our PO. We select the item and we go to background. And we can see the log. And here we have the number of the outbound delivery that was created. Let's go and take a look to the delivery. And here we have our delivery for 100 units. It has to be pick fair. So we're going to do the picking. So now the picking is complete. So we can go back to the delivery and now we can make the post-good issue. Okay, now that the post-good issue is done, we can display the material document, movement type 643, and we have also the accounting documents. We can see now a report MB5T to display the stock in transit to our receiving plant, and we see that we have our PO already set as in transit. This information can also be seen in our buying plant. Have 100 on stock, and here we have 100 as stock in transit cross company. Now let's say that the goods have arrived, so we're going to post the goods received in the buying plant. In this case, based on the PO, okay, for 100, we can post it. Material document post. So now the material is in unrestricted use stock in the buying plant. When this happens, also in the supplying plant, they are, let's go first and check the PO again. We can see the PO history. We have our delivery, the good issue, and the good receipt. Let's take note of this number again. And on the selling side, they should post the billing. So here we have the billing for the selling. And in the buying, site that are going to post the logistics invoice verification. This in reference to our PO for 1,000. We can do a simulation. 1,000, 1,000, and we can post it. Document already posted. So let's check our PO again. And we see now that we have also our invoice receipt in the PO from the buying side. And if we check the outbound delivery, we will have also all the document flow up to the billing for the selling side.
Have you enjoyed this video? If so, please give a like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you next time. Bye.